Alright, for time's sake, and we had issues with downloading to YouTube, and I'm guessing it's because we had spent too much time. It was 20 minutes long. So since we did these in class, you should already have the notes to those. So again, you're going to have perimeter to look at. You're going to have circumference. You're going to have finding the area of a circle, finding the area of a parallelogram, area of a triangle, and then volume of a rectangular prism. And again, using the formulas, length times width times height. Some of us have done this one, some of us did not, depending on which class. My length would be 7. My width would be this line back here, or this line across the front, which 6 relates to both of those, times my height, which is 2, and you simply multiply those together. So I get 42 times 2, which then gives me 84, and it is inches. And since we are dealing with volume, it will be cubic inches. Okay. Next one is finding the surface area. Surface area is a little more difficult because of the formula, but again, you're using and utilizing that is what is an absolute must. So 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the width times the height. And when you take all those, plug them in. So my length, and what we need to do first is label these. So this is going, we can look at the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter which. This would be my length, so put an L. My width would be this line, which is 5, so we can make that my width. And my height, how tall it is an H. Now, ultimately, it doesn't matter which one of these you label and how you label them. It's best to go ahead and make certain that you have them labeled in the correct order. But again, it doesn't matter as long as you have the different ones labeled. You don't have 2 of the same. Height is always an easy one. That's how tall it is. Your length and the width can sometimes be confused. Usually it's the longer is the length and the width is the smaller. So go ahead and plug these in. So it's going to be a matter of saying 2, I'm going to make this a little smaller, 2 times my length, which is 7, and my width, which is 5. That's the first one. Then the next one is going to be 2 times my length, which is 7, and my height, which is 5. And then 2 times my width, which is 5, and my height, which is also 5. Then we're going to multiply these together. 7 times 5 is 35, times 2 more is 70. Same answer for this, 70. And then 5 times 5 is 25, times 2 is 50. We're going to add all of these together, and you get 0. And then 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 5 more is 19. So a total of 190. And it is, again, surface area, so it is inches with a square. So square inches would be your answer. Okay. Key to this is, again, is using the formula and plugging those in. Finding the volume for this particular problem, it is going to be pi r squared times the height. Okay, so plug those in. My pi is 3.14 times my radius, which is 2. This is the radius from the middle to the outside edge. So 2, and it is squared, times my height, which is 7.5. So 3.14 times this value right here means 2 times 2, which is 4, times 7.5. And you can plug that into your calculator. which is going to give me 94 and 2/10, and it is volume, so it's cubic feet. Okay. Next problem is finding surface area, and again using a formula for this. So my formula is going to be finding the area of both of these, so that's why it is 2 pi r squared plus, and then I'm trying to find the circumference around this to become, so that's 2 pi r times the height. And again, I don't expect you to memorize these. These are written on that sheet, your reference sheet. That's all you're going to have to know to be able to plug these in. Excuse me. So plug those in. 2 times 3.14 times, it is radius squared. They did give me the radius, so 3.5, and I'm going to multiply that by another 3.5 because this squared means exactly this. Okay? Plus 2 times 3.14 times my radius, which is 3.5, times my height, which happens to also be 3 5/10. And then you multiply those all together. So then you get 2 times 3.14 times 3.5 times 3.5, and I get 76 93/100. And over here, when I add these all, or multiply all this together, I actually end up getting the same answer. You won't always get that. In fact, very rarely will you get the same. It's just because these two happen to be congruent. And I'm going to add this number and this number together, and I get 153 86/100, rounding to the nearest tenths, which is going to make this 153 9/10. Again, it is finding surface area, so it is going to be square inches. Next problem, find the volume. You're going to use the two different formulas. You're finding the different shapes that are listed here. This is a rectangular prism, so it is length times width times height. So let's go ahead and plug those in. My length would be 5, my width is 4, and the height is 5. So 20 times 5, you can put that in your calculator, it does equal 100. Then we're looking at this triangle, okay? In my triangle, I gave you that formula, which is base times height divided by 2 times the length, okay? So here's my base, this line right here, wherever this right angle is, it's got to be a perpendicular line to the actual height. So that line measures 5 times the height, which is 3, divided by 2 times the length, which is going to be 4, that's this line, and you plug that in, so it would be 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5 times 4 is going to be 30. So my answer is 30 cubic inches. This is cubic inches as well. We must add the two together to get 130 cubic inches. There you go. Have a great day. Again, we're going to be going over these further in class on Tuesday. So if you have questions, certainly bring them in on Wednesday and be happy to answer them further. Have a great night and good luck tomorrow.